What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Nashville Predators and can the Preds legitimately win the Stanley Cup. Divulge into that, but right off the bat, there, 3 points behind the Detroit Red Wings for #1 spot, not only in the West and their division, but in the NHL as a whole. They've played as many games as the Wings too. The Wings, and the Hawks have all played 51 games. Detroit's got 69 points, Nashville's got 66, and the Hawks got 65. That division's great. The only two teams that suck in it are the only team that sucks in it is Columbus. That's the only one that's nowhere near the playoff picture. Even St. Louis is right there too, 65 points, just ahead of the Hawks, and they're playing great hockey. Barry Trotz is a perennial contender for the Jack Adams Trophy. He's never won it, which I think is a very big shame. The NHL isn't awarding him the Jack Adams Trophy for all the years he's taken less than stellar Predators teams to the playoffs. And last year, they won the first series in franchise history. And, went to 6 games with Vancouver. They fought hard that series. A couple fortuitous bounces here or there. Maybe, they go on to face San Jose. And I think they could have beaten San Jose and, could have been the Bruins and Predators in the finals. I think that luck would have run out. I think midnight would have come for Cinderella, but it would have been a great run had they gotten past Vancouver, and I hate Vancouver. I would have loved to have seen Nashville get past them and San Jose, but that's the past. Let's talk about the present. Obviously, they're anchored in the back end by Ryan Suter and Shea Weber, both pending free agents. So we'll talk about where that fits into the the mix for the Preds this year. But in between the pipes, you got Pecorine, who's one of the 3 stars of the month for January. He's got a 240 save goals against average and a 924 save percentage, which puts him in the top 15 in the NHL in both categories. I think his goals against average is a little high. He has to face some of the most shots on goal every night in the NHL, but he got off to kind of a slow start by his standards, and he's really picked it up as of late. Like I said, was one of the 3 stars of January. Put up unbelievable numbers, and should have been an all-star, in my opinion. He's 8th in save percentage with a 924 save percentage, and I think he's leading the league in minutes played by a goalie. I know he's second behind Craig Anderson, but he's playing outstanding hockey, and he's a guy that can win you a couple series. Him and Luongo went neck and neck last year, and I thought he should have been he was a Vezina finalist. I think had Tim Thomas not had that season for the ages, I think he would have won it outright. Pecorine, and he finished ahead of Thomas and huge. I think it's fair. Thomas had and has Tuukka Rask backing him up. Tuukka can come in and play very well for you for an extended period of time. Nashville doesn't have that. Andreas Lindback's a good goalie, but he's not exactly Tuukka Rask or Pecorine, if that matter. Excuse me. But back to the talented defense pairing. Shea Weber is, without a doubt, the most talented defenseman in the game of hockey. There's no player like him that can really take over a game. He's in the top 10 in defenseman plus-minus with a plus-18. He missed a couple games with a concussion. He's 3rd in defenseman scoring with 35 points. He's the only defenseman, one of 2 defensemen, Nick Lidstrom, that has double digits in goals, and he's got 7 more assists than Lidstrom. I thought he should have beaten Lidstrom last year for the Norris Trophy. I thought, hands down by a mile, he was not only the best defenseman, but the most valuable defenseman in his team. You look at Nick Lidstrom makes a breakout pass. He's got Pavel Datsyuk as his first-line center. Shea Weber got David Legwand and Mike Fisher. And all due respect to those guys, both very, very good hockey players, neither one of them is Pavel Datsyuk. And you look at the skill players Detroit has versus what Nashville has. Nashville has guys that play hard, play good defensive hockey, and can put points on the board when need be. Detroit's got gunners all over the lineup. I think that's an unfair thing. And you look at what Weber does on a night-in, night-out basis. He's outstanding. He's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. I'd love to see them hammer out a deal to keep him in the Music City long-term because he's that kind of guy that can really change a franchise. Like I said, if Nashville does let him get to the open market, I hope he signs the biggest contract in NHL history. I think he is worth it. I think he's one of those guys that can turn an also-ran team into a Stanley Cup contender. I think his contributions at every facet of the game, his shot, his hitting ability, his toughness, his defensive awareness, he's evolved into the full and complete defenseman and the preeminent defenseman we have in the game today. His defense partner, Ryan Suter, is nothing to shake a stick at either. 12th in defenseman scoring with 28 points in 48 games. He's a +9 with the first-time All-Star this year. His situation is a little dicier. He's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, and he said he won't sign an extension before the trade deadline. I think Nashville can get him signed by July 1st. I hope they can. And, I know they can get a lot back for him if they trade him, because I think a guy like him, guys like this don't grow on trees. But I think they'll keep him, because I think they look at this group. Poyle looks at this group and says, we got a team that can win the Stanley Cup. They're very similar to last year's Bruins. They've got a great goalie, a stud defenseman, and they may lack a superstar up front, but they got guys that can score and work you and cycle. I love their forwards. I love the way their forwards play the game. They play tic-tac-toe in the cycle, and it's awesome to see. Mike Fisher, a guy like that, he's been in the finals. The Colin Wilsons, the Matt Halichucks, even the newly acquired Brandon Yip, the younger players that can play at a high level night in, night out, and compete. That's what you want out of guys, is a good compete level. They'll give you everything they have every shift, chip it in, work the corners, cycle to the net, and, create quality scoring chances. That's what they can do. They've got the talent to do that. There's no, Steven Stamkos not walking through that door. Anze Kopitar's not walking through that door. They don't have that bona fide sniper, but their guys can score. Hornquist's a good scorer. They're gritty, and I love that in a team. They don't, like I said, they don't have a high-profile sniper, but they got guys that can put the puck in the net through hard work. And as a hockey fan, it's something you love to see. And I think ultimately they can manufacture enough goals. It's kind of like the movie Moneyball. Brad Pitt, or Billy Beane, excuse me, is trying to assemble a team that can, not exactly hit a bunch of home runs and bat 300, but guys that can manufacture runs, can get on base, and ultimately knock in cross home plate. You look at that with Nashville. They'll keep their feet moving. They'll draw power plays. Weber's got a bomb. Suter can set them up. They have guys in front of the net to put in the rebounds. That's what you got to do. You got to manufacture goals. You're not going to score. There's no 50 goal scorers in this lineup, but that's okay. Everyone does their little part, and at the end of the night, you win 3-1. You win 3-1. I think that's the way it is, and I think that's the way Nashville likes it. The offensive superstars are great, but man, if they get injured or get slowed down or are in the middle of a slump, your team suffers. If there's no really go-to line, that just hustle and grind. That's all you got to do, and they will do that. I think they can grind out any team in the West. I think in terms of matchups, I think if they go with Vancouver again, they'll win. I think San Jose they can beat, and Detroit, I really, really think that would be a hell of a series, and I think they could pull the upset. I think they could beat Detroit or Chicago. St. Louis, I think they could beat too. I think they can. I'm not saying they will, but I think they got the talent in place to make a long playoff run, because I don't think they're fearless. I'm not afraid of any team out west, and they shouldn't be. They've got the talent. You let some scoring chances in, and Rene can stop them. You got a guy that can move the puck. You got defensemen beyond Weber and Suter that kind of weak on the back end, but that's okay. They'll find their way. And ultimately, I can't see this team not making a playoff run. I think they're too talented. I think they're playing with the house money, because a long playoff run I think ensures Suter and Weber stay there long term. So I think they're going to be the Cinderella team out west, and I think teams in the west should be worried about this team in the Music City. That's it for this episode of the Power Play with CJ on the Nashville Predators, and why I think they can win the Stanley Cup. Later, guys.